So you start by teaching a retrieve. So what you're looking for here is an area where the dog can't lose. What I mean by that is an area where they can't run off with something. So here is me and Luna working her drop as well as her retrieve. So she'll go and get it. She can't run off. She comes straight back to me and she lets go of it in my hand. She gets lots of praise and lots of reward. I don't use a clicker in this training. The only reason being is some people struggle with having enough hands, whereas I just use a yes and she gets her reward. But whenever I would say yes, that could also be a clicker as well, depending on how you'd like to train the dog.
Nice one.
As you can see, she's living her best life. So now we're moving on to an area where she could walk off if she wanted to. So I would throw the sock quite close to start, just to give her the easy wins. And the more easy wins she gets, the more she's going to want to bring it back in the long run. As me encouraging her to bring it back. Lovely, and as you can see, it's all positive reward-based training, so she's getting lots of treats whenever she brings it back, lots of encouragement to encourage her to do it again. So this time I threw it a bit further, she came back, so she's going to get lots of praise. I also mix up the distance I throw it to make it more interesting for her, because otherwise she's just going backwards and forwards. Here I've just asked her to hold it in her mouth and release it, and then I've done a distance again, just to encourage her back. She's not always getting a big handful of treats, she might only get one or two, again just to mix it up so she never knows what she's going to get. And in this instance I'm actually training her with her own food. For the next step, it's just getting her used to the basket, so I'm just holding some treats over the basket so that she gets used to sticking her head in. Then I like to back chain this part of the training, so I start with just getting her to drop it in, lots of reward for that, and then I look at slowly increasing the distance that she has to bring back to the basket again. Again, lots of praise, lots of encouragement. If she gets it wrong, it doesn't matter, we'll just try something different. So as you can see, short distance to make it really, really easy for her. And also teaching that drop in the beginning helps. In this instance, as you can see, because she's trying to drop it into my hand, when it's actually going into the basket, you can give lots of praise as well. Good, and then you slowly remove your hand from the basket so that they learn that the drop is actually in the basket rather than into your hand. And again, I'm just increasing the distance again. I'm being quite strict on her, so that sock actually has to go in the basket. It doesn't lie on the edge like you can see there. And when it goes in, she gets lots of praise. Just because otherwise we don't want her slowly just leaving stuff on the side of the basket either.
Yes, good girl.
So this time we move the basket to the side slightly, and as you can see she struggled with this, which is absolutely fine. It's just because she's used to having the basket in front of me, so it's something slightly different. And as you can see, she starts to get a bit frustrated, so she starts pulling at the sock, etc. So I decide that actually we will make it slightly easier for her so that she doesn't get frustrated, because Luna can be a bit of a barker when she gets too frustrated. So we made it really easy again, easy win. Then we moved on to getting her used to the washing machine. Now obviously in the long run this is all small steps over time, but I'm just doing this video so that you can see the step by step. So we're just getting her used to sticking her head in the washing machine first, just because it can be a bit scary.
Good girl.
So you start by just having the treats in the hand and popping your hand in, and then just encouraging them to pop it in by themselves, and then I reward away, just to take any pressure off that they may be feeling. Then we look at getting them to bring the sock out. Again, just a retrieve like you would do on the floor. But this time she has to stick her head in the washing machine for it as well. And again, I'm being quite strict. She has to bring it to my hand, just because obviously in the long run the drop is to the hand, not on the floor.
Yes, good girl. Well done.
Then we added the basket again, so it's exactly the same concept as when it was on the floor, but this time we are just asking her to bring it to the basket from the washing machine. As you can see there was a bad throw on my part. And again, we're being quite strict. She has to bring it in, and there's me using my hand signal for the drop just to help her out there.
Good girl.
And I'm encouraging her to go and get it without seeing it now, just so she knows what we're looking for. Again, I'm always using the yes cue anytime she does something right, and then she gets rewarded. Lots of strokes, lots of love, because she's doing an awesome job. Then I look at moving away from the basket slightly, so that she's not just coming to me, she's coming to the basket.
Well done.
And then I do also change direction again, so that she starts to learn that it's just to the basket, not to whatever's in front of me. Here, I think, was when I put the sock in a bit too far, so I just gave her a helping hand again, so she doesn't get too frustrated. Again, always giving them wins. So because she struggled to get the sock in the first place, she got a bit frustrated, tried to walk off with it. I tapped the basket, she then decided to come back, which was a really good choice from her, so she's still got lots of praise and lots of reward, because she did what we asked, even if she did do it with a bit of an extra walk.
Sit. Wait. Sock.
And then we looked at starting adding cue, so in this instance I used sock and basket.
Yes, good girl.
And once it happened, she got a yes and lots of reward again.
Good. Lovely. Sit. Wait.
So we're cueing on to it now, so sock. As she brings it out, you say basket. Puts it in, lots of praise, lots of reward.
Well done. Good girl. Well done. One last time. Sit. Wait.
I love this way of training because it actually creates a positive bond with your dog instead of scaring them into doing anything.
Basket.
It also makes it fun for them, because obviously if they are working for us in any sort of instance, even in assistance dog training or just for a bit of fun, they're still working, so it has to be made fun for them, otherwise they're not going to want to do it.
Well done.
Some dogs won't work for their own food. Luna will, just because we're in the house, whereas if we were outside or doing a task in a different place, I would use a higher value reward, but she will happily work for her own food in this instance.
Ah, clever girl. Well done. Wait.
Once you then have that quite solidly, you can then make it harder. So as you can see, I'm now using a blanket, and I've put it right on the edge of the washing machine, so it's quite easy to start. And again, she still has to put it in my hand before she gets the reward, so that's quite, I'm quite strict with that with her, just because otherwise she can get a bit lazy and just drop it in front of me. And again, in assistance dog training, it needs to be brought right to you. As you can see there, she started to get a bit barky, which means she is getting either a bit frustrated or a bit tired, which was absolutely okay.
Yes,
I got her to do it one more time.
Well done.
And then we finished it there. So we always finish on a good one. She brought it out, she gave it to me, lots of praise, and then we finished.